Hello and welcome to the Sunday League Pundit Show, episode 18. I would like to start this week by mentioning that I lost all my notes, didn't I, last week?
Yep.
Which magically appeared. Now, I would like to say that I had mentioned in my notes for last week that Roy Hodgeson had fallen ill on the Tuesday and we wish him well. However, the day he fell ill, there was already talk about him losing his job, which I thought was very harsh. And the second he got well enough, he's now come and said he's going to step down. I think he jumped before he was pushed. So we wish Roy Hodgson very, very well in his retirement. He's been a pretty much stalwart of the English game. He's been a great manager.
Apparently he wants a consultancy job somewhere.
He still wants to carry on.
Apparently.
He's 76, isn't he? And he can't be short of money.
Some people just don't want to give up the game.
Yeah.
Think about it. I think he's just gone back into management again as well.
Warnock.
Warnock, yeah.
Yeah, I love him. I think he's great. If he doesn't want to retire, we still wish him all the best and hope he's not ill, right? But I don't wish you well in your retirement if you're not retiring. I wish you well in your next career. So he stepped down. And that's basically that bit. Right, so Jurgen Klopp, has, after the Luton game, where Liverpool won 4-1 fairly convincingly in the second half, right, Jurgen Klopp then decided to compare that comeback to that of the comeback against Barcelona in the Champions League a few years ago.
Wow, different levels there.
Is it just me that thinks Klopp is a massive bellend? No point in asking you. I know your feelings on him, and you're with me 100%. Really? I mean, no disrespect to Luton. We've said on this podcast many, many times we all want Luton to survive, and we really like them as a club. But comparing a 4-1 win against Luton
to Barcelona
to a win against Barcelona, which I think they needed the 4-0 win, didn't they? That day?
I'm glad you said Barcelona and not Roma, because then I would have been like, wow.
No, Barcelona. Just seems a bit weird to me. Seems a bit weird. And a special mention to one of our armchair pundits. I would like to mention and say a big thank you to Darryl, because his beloved Blackburn has loaned Macclesfield Joe Hilton, their goalkeeper, for the rest of the season. So massive thank you to Blackburn, because we were struggling in the goalkeeping department. So I'm hoping Joe Hilton will sort that out till the end of the season, since Alex Bruce walked out on us for Salford City.
For a coaching role.
An assistant manager / coaching role at Salford City.
So,
to which we then immediately hired
Ryland's manager.
Warrington Ryland's manager, and then Warrington Rylands lost 4-1 just after he left. So hopefully that's a good omen that he's a decent manager and he likes to keep things together. So I'm quite.
Are you happy with that swap? Or is it too early?
I'd like to say that I understand it at this level. I'm not happy Alex has left, because he was doing really well for me. As you both know, we're doing well in the cup because we were all talking about going to the final. Is this shift now going to affect the team and affect the cup run? Possibly. It might not. He might come in and be better. You don't know. So am I angry at him? No, because he's been offered a higher position. And I would do that. We've said before, if somebody came up to you, Tim Ribson, and went, I'll give you £2,000 a week to do the exact thing you're doing now, but in a different place, you'd do it.
Yeah.
And I'd do it. So I understand it, and I'm not angry about it. I'm just a bit frustrated because Mac were doing really well.
Timing isn't perfect.
But it is what it is, isn't it? So we're going to go straight to you after play the music. Welcome to episode 18 of the Sunday League Pundit Show. We are very, very, very grateful to have you all with us. Jim Jam, the stat man, do you have a stat for us?
I have a stat. It's not one of my own this week though. I was.
We just like stats.
I've had a Guinness week.
That's understandable.
Yeah. So, and it came from the Arsenal game, which I thought was impressive. So Arsenal have managed to go 7 halves of football, scoring 2 or more goals, which is a Premier League first. And
Not
how
even
long
I
it
realised
goes,
that was a thing.
and it goes on. And I actually looked back and went, okay, so he scored 2 goals, and it started in the second half against Liverpool, and then they've scored 2 goals in each half ever since then.
That's mad, that, isn't it?
And
Shouldn't they couldn't do that against freaking Porto.
that's why it's Premier League, not.
Yeah. Arteta's no good at knockout competitions. Been through
But
that
no,
before. That's an interesting
so it'll be
stat.
interesting to see how long that goes on for, especially as you've got Sheffield United next. So
Can I give you a stat that I looked at this week? And
Yeah,
the
yeah,
only
yeah.
reason I looked at it is because, I'll be honest with you, I am sick to death of Arsenal fans telling me how great Raya is. It is pissing me off. Right, so the stat I searched through FOTMOB to find out how many shots we'd conceded.
Yeah.
So in the last two games, albeit we've only conceded 2 goals.
Yeah.
Do you know how many shots we've conceded? Any ideas?
Well,
Conceded 2 goals in 2 games. Any idea how many shots we've conceded?
4.
Right?
how many shots against?
How many shots we've conceded?
Oh, 6.
6. We've conceded 4 shots, 10, you're right. So we've conceded 50% of the shots on target. Right? Name me one goalkeeper that would be praised for conceding 50% of the shots against him. Yet we're making out like he's some messiah, like he's the next David Seaman. He is shite. The goal against Porto, he was at least 3 yards too far forward for me. Had he been 3 yards back, he'd have just lifted his arms up, plugged it out of the air, job's a good one. Right? And the game that we've just played, albeit we beat Newcastle 4-1, he was right by his front post, the header comes across and goes into the far post. He's not going to save it, he's nowhere fucking near it, is he? Shit. I just thought I'd bring that stat up because I didn't think it was interesting because it's against my club and my manager's an absolute bellend, but it makes me laugh that people will praise a guy that's conceded 50% of the shots that he's had against
do
him.
love an anti-Raya stat.
I really do, yeah. I'm not going to lie, I went out of my way to try and find something. But it was there, which says I'm onto something because the stat was there.
Look, he's made as many mistakes that have led to goals this season already than Ramsdale did for the entire of last season, if that helps.
I would say he's made a lot more because I think that stat is how many, right, that stat that you looked at, goalkeepers errors leading to goals, right?
Maybe that's
how many had Onana made?
None.
Bollocks.
Yeah,
I would like to call bollocks.
I want to actually know what the what
That's
defines
exactly what I said in the group.
Onana, his positioning has been terrible. He's physically palmed it to opponents.
What about the shots that Onana's had from 40 yards out that's rolled towards him, he's put his hands out and it's just slid under his arm? Do they not count as an
It
error?
probably counts as a save percentage.
No, I don't know.
Surely that's an error leading to a goal. If we did that on a Friday and you were my keeper and it rolled through your hands that pace, I would say you've made a mistake there, Tim. And you would come out and go,
I'd hang myself.
I'm fully aware of
I've
that.
thrown one in there. He'd come out and he'd say, I've thrown one, I've done that. That's on me, I'm
Is
sorry.
that after
boys.
I've laid face down in the floor for about 20 minutes?
Yeah,
hoping it's
basically.
just gonna eat
No,
me?
Once the tears had gone.
who knows what counts? It's probably like the handball.
That's my point.
Rule. We don't know what it actually is.
Nobody knows what's handball anymore.
So we don't know what errors leading to goal. Maybe
Errors leading to
is
goals.
it where they pass it direct to
And
one
I'll
of
be
their
honest,
players? And they
I
score?
don't even need Raya's stats there. I don't need to argue anything. I'll just give them the same name I've just given you. Onana. No mistakes leading to goal. Onana doesn't believe that stat. There's not a Man United fan in them stands that believes that stat. And like I've said to Tin Ribs and you and everybody else online, you can twist stats to make them look however you like. And it's as simple as that. It's an absolute joke. Anyway, I've had a bit of a moan now, and I feel a bit bad because I'm always having a go at him.
Yeah.
Right, but then I think, well, he's never going to hear it, so I don't really care.
I would laugh if one of our listeners was. Right, every day driving into work, just tears. That Stretch doesn't like me.
He's not going to shit whether I like him or not. Anyway,
Honestly,
he's driving away with his 120 grand a week or whatever it is.
The interesting thing from this week for me was because I was just reading about Chair from QPR and how he was up for trial and his stuff because he beat a truck driver, crushed his skull with a rock.
Yeah.
And then he got sentenced to a year in prison with 12 months suspended in Belgium, I believe it is. And then amazingly, the next day, I see huge uproar as Chair starts for QPR.
I would like to say, as a truck driver, I don't think he should ever play football again. What a scumbag.
I mean, surely beating somebody's skull with a rock is attempted murder.
How'd you get a year for that?
I know.
And
you don't even have
I'm not
to
being
go...
funny. There's people that do a year for that. I mean,
apparently,
I'm going to get away with it like that.
Apparently,
I consider
you
that
don't even have
scot-free.
to go to jail. Apparently, his first year is suspended and then he goes to jail.
No, you tend to find if it's a suspended sentence, part
of it's suspended, which means surely the second part would be suspended, not the first.
Yeah, but so I'm completely blagged. Obviously, Belgium laws must be different.
So if you're going to crush someone,
kill someone,
stone,
go on holiday with them to Belgium.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it just amazes me how you'd get more
That's
for
mental, isn't it?
You get more for petty crimes than you do beating somebody with a rock.
Amazing.
So there you go. I just saw that and went, wow.
I would like to say at this point that I'm glad I don't advertise this as a comedy podcast. Because not much comedic in that, I'll be honest with you. I'm struggling to find something to take the piss out of there, I'll be honest. Woo, that's a bit much.
Not even the pro-Ram Raya fans are going to come at you with the rocks as a truck driver.
Yeah. I mean, there's people that threatened it, I'll be honest with you. A couple of them. I've probably been out of order, but, I'm a truck driver, so I own the road. I should get them going. Right, so what do we want to do? Do we want to do the week's events, or do we want to do the predictions game? How do we want to start? The week's events, right.
As we've already started with
Tin Ribs.
One already.
Get the phone out.
I've already got it out.
Let's start with the Tottenham game.
Do we have to?
No reason for it. I'm sure Tottenham played Wolves, didn't they? How did that go again? I can't remember what the result was.
Went absolutely fantastic.
Was it?
Yeah.
How did it go?
Well, they didn't play Wolves because... oh, you mean midweek? Sorry.
Yeah.
I was going to say they didn't play Wolves at the weekend. So... When did they play them? It's all right. Tottenham's decided it's playing a bit special with me.
I think he's going back too far.
I would say you're going back way too far.
We've already spoke about that last week.
We've already had...
Do you know what's thrown me is because I did the pod with Zach this morning. I only see him every other week.
Yeah, I was thinking they haven't.
I got all excited
because Tottenham didn't play.
Yeah, they were supposed to play Chelsea.
That was it. I got all excited thinking Spurs have been beaten. I forgot that I only see Zach every other week. So
well, they would have got beaten anyway.
But they lost 2-1 against Wolves anyway, so I thought I'd just bring that up.
Sure.
Anyway, so first game.
So we could go all the way back to Monday.
We'll do Monday.
Everton, Crystal Palace.
Everton Palace. That was a decent game. I caught some of it, not all of it. I think I saw about the first 55 minutes of it. Seemed an all right game to me. It was not too bad.
No idea.
Didn't watch it.
No.
It was all right. Quite decent.
I started drinking Guinness at 10 a.m. on that.
Yeah, you were on another planet then by the time.
It was okay for two bottom end teams not willing to try and fight out of relegation.
I forgot. How do I keep forgetting that he completely
this isn't anything against Everton. It seemed to me like two teams that are in that area couldn't be bothered to try and fight each other to get out. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like that. Oh, we're both in relegation chance, so
well, let's just share a point.
That's just to me, it just didn't seem like a game with much fight.
Maybe that's why they're both down there.
Yeah, it was poor, very poor. No, that's my opinion of it.
Or if you're going to bet, don't bet on Everton or Crystal Palace. Basically, is the moral to that story.
Yeah.
But then we played our game in hand on Tuesday, and as I've said many a times, points on the board are much better than games in hands. You know why? Because we lost our game in hand.
You did. You sent us many happy text messages though during the game. We realised how happy you were during that game. You made it pretty clear.
No, that wasn't that game. That was the weekend's game. This is Tuesday's game.
Yeah.
I'm sure he messaged us on Tuesdays, on.
No. Again, I was still in Dublin at that point. I was the Guinness. Definitely.
How long were you in Dublin?
I was there for 4 days.
4 days.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you've come back alive.
Yeah. So
you also had Man City Brentford. Man City won 1-0.
Yeah.
I tell you what, this is something I wanted to say actually. City are not steamrolling the teams the way they did last year and the year before and the year before. They're struggling at the minute, you know.
But speaking of that, as it's a week event and stuff, I think that was the game that Ederson equalled Joe Hart's record for Man City clean sheets. And
he's been there a long time.
And obviously, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Man City kept another clean sheet.
You know what's funny?
So he's broke the record. But Joe Hart retiring at the end of the season.
Yes, I did hear that.
That's a shame.
He went to Celtic and won a lot of trophies.
He's just released his own clear glove as well. Yeah. They've just released the Joe Hart edition.
He was a good keeper.
Glove. Is that like
Kalia?
Oh, Kalia. I thought you said clear glove. Is that the way you just go out and bare hands and go, I've got his gloves on?
No. He was a good keeper. I liked.
I love Joe Hart.
He doesn't fit the modern keeper mould anymore.
No.
The playing out from.
See, that was always one of my arguments with when people go on about Pep Guardiola being the greatest coach, and I argue that maybe he's not the best coach. He might be a very good manager, because his idea was rather than teach Joe Hart how to be
I was just about to say actually.
Straight away walked in, you're not going to do it, and bought £19 million. Bravo.
Does that make a good man manager? Because he's come in and he's not even said to Joe Hart,
yeah, that's what I mean.
Try this. He's just gone, you're not for me, bye.
Yeah.
That's not a good man manager, surely.
But, for example, I'm going to compare him to Bielsa. And the reason I'm going to compare him to Bielsa is because Bielsa came into a team that was languishing bottom half of the championship. And no one, let's be honest, had heard of him. And then everyone starts talking about transfers, and he goes, I'm all right with the team we've got. And literally every comment in the forums was, what is this guy smoking? Because this team is not good enough.
To be fair, though, he did answer what is this guy smoking, because he went through about 40 on the sidelines, didn't he? What's on his little bucket? But tell you what, he looked like a Sunday League manager, fag in hand, sat on a bucket, and it was great. I don't understand how he was so good.
He absolutely coached and made some of those. Look at what he did with Calvin Phillips.
Brilliant player.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So he
wasted at
coached those players. He trained those players. Coming in and going, England #1 goalkeeper. Yeah, bye. You know what I mean? There was no attempt to train him, no attempt to coach him, no attempt to do anything. Just came in, go on, bring in another.
And he was by far away England's #1 at the time.
At the time, yeah.
But then that knocked his confidence. It was Nuno when he went to Tottenham, not that he lasted at Tottenham very long.
Did he go abroad first?
Yeah, he went off to Torino, was it?
Somewhere like that one.
He went to Italy. But no, he went to Tottenham and then he got shipped off because Nuno said, no, you're not staying. And he wanted to stay and he was told, you can't be my backup, you can't even be my third choice. You're gone, you don't play football the way I like. See you later. And then obviously he did well for himself up at Celtic.
Yeah.
So
some managers just don't know a good keeper when they see it, do they?
But yeah.
Yeah, so next.
After that, we've got the Liverpool-Luton game. I was so overjoyed when Luton went 1-0.
Oh, is this the game that compares to Barcelona-Liverpool?
Yeah. Yes.
I was I thought you put it in the chat and I was like, that's a bit early.
I messaged you two going, come on, Luton, at half-time.
But we love Luton.
Yeah.
Come on, Luton. You won up at half-time. I was so happy. And then I was busy. I can't remember what I was doing, but I was busy. And then I
You
looked
should have
again.
been watching Arsenal, is what you should have been.
That's probably
doing.
what I was doing then. But then I sort of checked the result later on, and I'm like,
So that's our next game, man. Obviously, because Porto, Arsenal. Obviously, we already think that. Think that it was Raya's positioning that.
Don't get me wrong,
for the goal.
he could have potentially been closed down earlier. But then all them people having to go at Declan Rice, like how many miles have that guy covered during that game?
Yeah.
And Raya, let's face it, don't fuck all. Right, get your one job right, and then people aren't going to be having to go at Rice when he's potentially out of position once in 90 minutes when he's covered, I don't know, 8 miles or whatever it was during the course of the pissing game. He'd run up and down and up and down, up and down, and then everyone's going, oh, Rice didn't close him down quick enough. What, in the 95th minute when he's just run God knows how far? I'm not bloody surprised he didn't close him down quick enough. Raya should have been in position. I'm sorry, I'm always going to blame Raya because I think he's shocking anyway. But we played well. I don't know what it is about Arteta and knockout competitions. We got beat by Middlesbrough in the Carabao Cup. I don't know if you remember that. It was Middlesbrough that knocked us out of there. And then Liverpool, who we battered, by the way, beat us 3-1 in the FA Cup. 3rd round. Our first attempt at the FA Cup this season. I'm still fuming about it because I love the FA Cup. And we got convincingly beaten by a team we hammered for 90 minutes. I don't understand what is wrong with Arsenal in knockout. And then people then say to me, yeah, but they did well in the league stage, in the group stage in the Champions League. It's not fucking knockout football, is it? That literally is nothing to do with the argument I'm making. The argument I'm making is we're shit at knockout cup competitions.
Maybe Arteta trains or coaches in the school of Gareth Southgate. And we're not going to be committal. We're not going to push forward. We're just going to defend and hope for the best.
But we don't defend.
The thing is, when you play knockout football, you've got to knock that team out.
That's the whole point, isn't it?
Exactly.
No, but you've got to be cutthroat. You've got to be ruthless. You've just got to go for it.
So why is it right, we can play West Ham, Odegaard scores from outside the area, albeit only just. And then Rice scores from 6-7 yards outside the area?
Yeah.
Why is it when we get into a cup competition, we can't shoot from outside the area? We have to be on the 6-yard line to have a shot. And if we're not, you've got to pass it. I don't understand the way of thinking when we're in a competition. I don't get it. Because in the league, we are tearing teams up at the minute. We are literally pulling the arse out of teams that we're playing at the minute. Newcastle looked like a Sunday League side when we played them. Liverpool looked like a Sunday League side when we played them. Burnley didn't even look like they'd seen a fucking football before when we were on a pitch with them. And West Ham absolutely annihilated them. But you get us in a cup competition, and the forwards are just like, it's like the ball's on fire. They just don't want it, and they get rid of it all the time. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. I don't understand it. But yeah, we should have won that game for me easily. Yeah. We didn't even have a shot. Insanity. Sorry.
It's all right. So Friday we had a little tiny championship game. Apparently it was just another game for Leicester.
Oh, is that really unimportant game for Leicester because they were going to walk it?
Yeah. That just another game.
Leicester versus Leeds.
It was a nice, easy one. One of their players said that he promised they'd beat us.
Well, promises are made to be broken.
Thing is, it's quite funny because they did have a legitimate goal ruled out, and it was legitimate. Everyone's on about how they absolutely battered us. If we'd been ruthless in the first 15 minutes, we'd have been 3-0 up out of sight. So they obviously didn't batter us for the entire game. Dewsbury Hall needs to stop trying to get penalties and actually try playing football, because that little diving prick is just annoying as fuck. I'm glad. You know what? I'd never watched him fully, and now I've seen him in that game. I was just like, what a pathetic piece of shit. Trying to get people booked and stuff, diving around like, not even touched, diving around like he's fucking just been shot.
Well, why was he not getting booked?
Well, when was it we talked about referees not having any bollocks?
Pretty much every week.
Because everybody said it, because we were listening to it on the car on the way back from football going, it's not a penalty, why are they not booking him?
Yeah, he dived. The ball's won, fair and clear, and he dives, and he's like, fucking hell, referee. Right, yeah, I can't. Anonto, like, brushed up against him, and he threw himself to the floor, and rolled around, referee, even their manager, that dickhead, He looked a happy chap at the end of the game. That's the main thing I enjoyed about that. That arrogant, cocky prick having to sit down there in an interview looking miserable as fuck.
We really need to have a word with him in the future. He's got to stop holding back.
Yeah.
The podcast is to tell us your actual, honest opinion.
But it's like
to hold back.
The last 10, we absolutely smashed them. And we did.
I mean, I saw the highlights, and there was a lot of highlights of Leeds in the second half.
Yeah.
I don't know how the game went. I didn't watch it, but I only saw that.
I don't think we didn't look. We looked dangerous back end of the first half, and it looked all like we were going to come out second half and just go at them. And Leicester actually way the better team for the first 25, 30 minutes of the second half. They really were. So when everyone's saying, "Oh, we were the better team for 80," no, you weren't. You weren't the best team for 80 minutes. You were the best team for
probably
a good part,
60 minutes, maybe.
Good portion of the second half and a good portion in the middle of the first half. We were the dominant team at the start. We were definitely the dominant team going into the second half at the end of the break. They came out, and I thought, shit, we're gonna get done here. They had a legitimate goal ruled out, and it was legitimate. And then we just absolutely stomped them.
Good win, man. It's an important
last
win
15,
for Leeds.
A couple of changes, last 15.
It's a real important win for Leeds.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, it's like, I've been saying since the start, well, I did say at the start that Leeds would win the league and everyone laughed at me. Still don't think we'll win it, but all of a sudden, in December, Ipswich had won the league according to all the professionals. Oh, yeah, Ipswich have already won the league, blah, blah, blah. 14 points. What's that? 6 points now. Okay. Not looking so great all of a sudden, are they?
There's a long way to go still.
It's 12 games. 12 games.
A lot of games.
But hang on, just want to point out, they've drawn and lost a few recently. There's 6 points in it now, and we've won every game since the start of the year.
And there's 36 points available, so there's a lot of opportunities.
So this whole they've already won the fucking league just goes to show that everyone's full of shit, because it isn't over yet.
Oh, that's nice.
Ipswich and Leeds are still easily catchable. They can catch them, because Ipswich are still there.
Yeah.
I thought they'd have fell away. Fair play to them, they haven't fell away, even if their striker is an absolute retard. Leicester are apparently the best team Ipswich have played. I'll agree. They are the best team they've played, because when they came to Ellen Road, they didn't play us. They got absolutely fucking mauled by us. So if you're going to say play, that implies that you actually had part in the game. So, I mean, yeah.
But right now, Southampton,
they're falling away.
Yeah, this is what I thought we were getting earlier.
We've been figured out, and Russell Martin has his way. But for 25 games, absolutely.
Let's put some context on it. What game are you on about?
Millwall.
For those who don't know.
Yeah, so we're moving into Saturday now.
Yeah.
So we played Millwall. They've got new manager come in, Neil Harris. So Neil Harris's game plan was to use the same tactics that he used against Southampton he used for Gillingham. Gillingham that knocked us out the Carabao Cup. One of our disappointing results during our previous bad run. So because he has his own way, which, great, 25 games unbeaten, absolutely superb, great. Problem is, everybody's going to be looking at the way that you play. So cut out the midfield and that sort of stuff. Yeah, we're missing Flynn Downs, but there's more to it than that. And the biggest thing for me is like, okay, left back. Kyle Walker-Peters, one of the best right backs in the Championship this season. Let's put him over at left back. Now he can play left back. He played a lot of left back last year, and is it quite handy there? But you play Taylor Harwood-Bellis and you stick him at right back, who doesn't play there, and he's one of the best centre backs, which we only discussed a couple of weeks ago. That you'd take our centre back and Leeds centre back, and that'd be the best centre back partnership.
Yeah.
So and why is he doing this? To accommodate Jack Stevens, who is captain of the club. Sorry, but if you're not good enough to play, you can't be captain. You can be captain of the fucking bench or whatever. And come on and do what you need to do. But he's not good enough. Why would you disrupt a solid back four and basically put them under
All I've got
unnecessary
right now,
pressure.
all I've got right now is, when you go to a golf club and you've got the parking space reserved for the chairman, so he pulls up to the training ground, captain's car park, goes through, looks at the bench, captain.
Captain of the bench.
But I'm not saying he's a useful squad player, but he's a squad player, he's not a starter. And the problem that we've got at the moment is we're playing passengers, as I like to call them, players that just aren't quite good enough. Leeds haven't got any passengers in their team. I don't think he could probably name. He might be able to name maybe one.
I'd go for the king of offsides. He's probably not very happy with, but other than that,
Actually, I can't say anything against. He's been proving me wrong.
Yeah.
He has. I can't.
So you look at Leeds' team.
Sorry, it's Tim
they
Rooms.
play the
Sorry,
same.
I don't think you realise how big a moment this is.
Yeah.
Has Tim Rooms just admitted he's wrong?
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah, yeah.
shit!
No, straight
I'm
up.
so glad we're recording this
Yeah.
conversation.
No,
I've never heard that in the 20 years I've known you.
But you look at it and we're like, Will Smallbone just ain't good enough. He's not going to be the player that's going to take us up. Jack Stevens, he's not going to be a player that's going to take us up.
I haven't seen enough of you to know. So obviously, I take your word for Leeds, and I'll take your
So
word
obviously
for
we
Saints, 'cause I know you
take-
watch them a lot.
So we take Che Adams, he scored a goal in the game. Oh, substitute him off. You know,
I did
he
see
scored-
that when I looked at FODMOP, and I thought that was a bit
I
odd.
think losing Fraser early on, I think that was a bit of a big blow. Although Sammy Adozi coming on, great. But as he put it, 80% possession. Don't know what the actual what it actually finished at, but during the game we were like, Southampton have got 8% possession. They're doing a fantastic job of keeping the ball. Do something with it then. You know what I mean? It's like a great.
We had a
ball.
barrage of messages, didn't we, during that game when he was playing it?
I'm like,
And he was
it's
not happy.
all well and good having the ball, but if you're winning, because you said, yeah, they're not going to score if you've got the ball. I goes, yeah, that's all well and good if you're winning.
Yeah, that was kind
But
of.
if you're not
I was
winning,
taking the piss a little.
yeah, I know, but I'm like, oh, but no, it's frustrating. Right now, I'm like,
We would
I
never have
cannot
guessed that you were
see-
frustrated.
I was just
can't
enjoying
see
every moment, so I
where
could just have a poke.
we're getting a win. I cannot. When I look at the fixtures now, I'm like, I can't see a win.
You're definitely going to win some of your upcoming fixtures. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, some.
I hope he beat you Ipswich and Leicester.
Well, you can't win every game you play.
No, but if they win Ipswich and Leicester, I'll be well happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
All you've got to do is beat the two teams that you now don't think you're going to beat.
it's probably a good job that we've got the points that we have. Otherwise, I'd be concerned about the playoffs. But I think, luckily, I think we've got enough points already to be in there. But I am probably thinking we're probably going to be in the Championship next season.
Even with
I'm
the shit.
okay with. Now, one of our little fan group pages, it's a piss take one, so it's not serious talk, and it's like, it's okay. We're not gonna go up. We're going to lose in the playoffs, but it's fine because we're going to defend our FA Cup. We're going to win a European competition and win the league next year. You know what I mean?
At least you're not too demanding of your team.
No.
That's all I can say.
Trust me, that would be perfect.
Or to win the FA Cup and not go up.
Yeah.
I get that. I mean, it's not exactly what I would refer to as probable, but it would be nice for you. I certainly wouldn't give a shit because
I mean,
we're not
Liverpool are
losing.
clearly
Yeah.
scared of Southampton because they saved all the big guns for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they played the kids tonight, although they still beat Chelsea.
Yeah.
Oh, that was annoying.
So I really hope that we put up at least a good performance
In all
and
fairness,
don't implode.
between 4th and 5th, there's 11 points at the moment.
That's a massive gap that is for
Yeah.
one space.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I would honestly say,
Jesus.
I think we will probably finish 4th. I think for us to get automatic promotion now, we got to win every single game from now till the end of the season, and that's the only way we're
Doable.
going up. It's always doable.
It's doable.
It is doable because how many games is it?
12.
12. Winning 12, it's tough, but
Just
it
done
is
25.
doable.
Just done
You've
25.
gone 25 unbeaten.
Yeah. No, I'm saying we've got to win all 12. Not
Well,
unbeaten
we've done
in 12. Because
8, 9,
12 draws,
8,
12 draws
Eight
is
or
only
nine.
12 points.
But your manager's not putting. Well, I would say his manager's not pissing about, but they've got one of the best young defensive midfielders in the country at right back. So even his manager's pissing about with his team and all.
Well, he's described as a right back. It's only you that I've ever heard say that he's a CDM.
What would you refer to
11 games,
Archie as?
11 wins in a row we're on.
What would you refer to Archie as?
Defensive midfielder.
It's not just me. He's a Leeds fan and he says it.
But that's why we bought Connor Roberts in.
I want to sign Archie Gray.
Yeah, we've just
From
signed
you
him onto
guys.
a really nice new juicy
I
contract.
don't care. I'd pay it.
So
I'd pay to
No,
release
but what I'm saying is hopefully if he does decide that he's going and we go big fucking money pay,
I'd swap him for Partey.
I've only ever really seen him play
I'd rather you keep Partey.
right back.
Just saying.
You don't want the medical bill.
But yeah, so we've won 11 in a row.
Yeah, they've nearly done it, so you can do it.
So that's exactly what we need to do.
So,
yes.
so it's definitely doable, though.
Yeah.
Is basically what we've just worked out. It's
It
definitely
is doable.
So basically, you've just got to have a little bit more faith in your team. You watch on the predictions game, and the first one he'll go, "We're losing, losing."
9-0.
Not again.
Twice. Haven't you got Leicester as well? Weren't they one of the teams that put 9 past
Yeah.
you? This could be fun. Oh, that would make for a really good podcast, wouldn't it? Do you know Max that gets involved in the predictions game? Even he messaged me about the Southampton result. And he went, "How's Jim?" I went, "You want to see this group we're in, mate? He's not happy." He went, "I'll bet he's not."
But no. Yeah, I don't. You've called it though. You don't expect me to see me put in fucking Southampton wins anytime soon.
No, I can see the
Not
3-0,
at least, but don't expect it till at least April.
Wow. I like your optimism, I'll be honest with you.
So,
I think it's admirable.
I just look. He came out at the end of the game and said we need Jack Stevens in the team. So where he was up there, where I say I love the bloke there, he's not my favourite manager anymore. He's still like up there. I still like him as a manager.
So fickle.
I know, yeah.
I know.
You fickle.
I know. He pissed me off though.
So before we go to the half break, I just want to bring up an event. So quick run through Premier League scores. Villa absolutely stonked. Forest.
It was a bit closer when they got to 3-2.
I know, yeah. I didn't think they were going to come back, to be fair. But Villa looked really good. I think Villa are looking really good anyway. Emery's
been good all season. Emery's been fantastic.
Yeah. And to be fair, he's brought the best out of some
I
players.
didn't like the way he was treated at Arsenal, so I think I'm glad
And he's brought the best out of some players. I mean, what's his name? Daly. Last season, he was. I don't think
he was anonymous. Wasn't he?
I don't think a conference team would have picked him up.
No, I don't.
Now he's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, big hats off to that.
I would agree.
Brighton managed to get a late equaliser against Everton.
I didn't even realise that. I thought Everton won that game 1-0.
I really enjoyed looking at that, I'll be honest with you. Just because I've got nothing against Everton, do you know what I mean? I've got nothing against Everton. But they've been in the top flight longer than Arsenal, so I'd like to see them go down just so it's
They're also one of the only other team with Arsenal who have never been relegated from the top flight. So if they do get relegated, Arsenal will become the only team
never be relegated. That is the only reason I'd like to see Everton relegated, just for Arsenal's sake. Nothing to do with Everton because I've got nothing against them.
So Crystal Palace romped Burnley. Burnley really are looking terrible.
Shocking.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for
skip that
Company
one.
because I actually. What was skipping?
I'll come back to it in a minute.
Okay, because I actually think Company could make a great manager.
It might be Fulham.
Oh yeah, it could be actually.
So
never thought of that.
there was a game, Bournemouth versus Man City, and obviously I had my little in this weekend, so I couldn't watch all the football, but I watched as much as I could.
They're struggling.
And the brilliant part was, just as my lad's film had finished, I was like, "Oh, okay, let's go over." Turned it off, straight onto Sky Sports. Just as Haaland hits the shot, saving goal, I literally tuned in as the goal went in.
Yeah.
I couldn't have picked.
I'm sorry, but they're for me they're struggling.
They do not look dangerous, do they?
They
I mean, they're still getting the
comfortable.
results and stuff, but they don't look.
comfortable.
Yeah.
It's only going to take them, and I think City have still got, if I'm right, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea to play.
I'm pretty sure that's one of the next games. Liverpool, Man City. I think that's the 9th or 9th of March, I think.
Well, second's next Saturday, because
Something
that's when
like
we're
that.
golfing.
Yeah, it's very
So,
close.
I just want to go
beginning
on
of
to
March.
2 things here. So first, let's all laugh at United. Fulham.
Fulham 2, United 1, for those that don't know.
Now-
And it was interesting.
There was 2 challenges that people were comparing.
Oh, you sent those
Yes,
out,
I did.
We've got
You've got the
idea
Brighton,
of
which was
what
a straight red,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you've got
Haaland.
No,
Maguire.
Maguire,
which was a yellow. I
Yeah.
believe I know why the difference.
I
For
believe
me,
I know
there's
why.
a difference.
Yeah.
I just want your opinion. So for me, the difference is Maguire basically stamps on his foot.
Yeah.
He follows through, but it's his foot that he hits.
Yeah.
He essentially stamps on his foot.
Yeah.
Whereas I forgot his name, the lad who plays for Brighton, Gilmore. That's halfway up his ankle.
Yeah.
That's like literally ankle to shin area. It's a very high challenge. So for me, I think that's where the term out of control comes in. You know, they say stood showing out of control.
Okay.
So if you're going onto someone's foot, yes, you're still going studs in, but it's low. It's where the ball is. It's a foul.
His heel's on the floor as well.
Yeah, so it's a foul.
Gilmore, he's off the ground.
Yeah, Gilmore's foot is fully off the ground, stood showing into the side of his shin. Now, I saw a lot of arguments about, like, are they both reds? I actually think they, for once, they got it right.
I'll see what I can do about either putting a screenshot if I can on the thing, or the actual video
No, you can't
itself.
do a screenshot.
Why?
Screenshots don't tell the whole story.
But
but I might not. What I'm saying is, I might not be able to put the actual video on. It might cancel it out. So I'll see what I can do.
The thing is with Gilmore as well, the ref gave it as a red. It wasn't a VAR check.
No,
the referee did it. So is it a clear and obvious error to overturn it to a yellow card? Because, but no, I don't think it was.
I think it's the right call.
You think?
I think it was right. I think there was a big difference between.
I don't think it's right, and I'll tell you why I don't. Because I would use different wording to you.
Okay.
Both of them, for me, were dangerous play. When you're going to go into somebody with that much force, studs up, dangerous play. You are potentially endangering the safety of your opponent on both of them challenges, which for me is a straight red. You cannot go into a challenge stood showing. Simple. You can't do it.
I think Maguire's is more of like a...
Doesn't matter. Stood showing.
I don't think he's not studs raised. His foot.
No, his foot is
down.
His studs are into his ankle bone. Studs showing.
It didn't hit his ankle.
Play. For me,
it's the top of his foot.
Yeah.
Dangerous play.
For me, he went over the front of his foot. Not
no.
The ankle.
He actually hit the side of his ankle. When I watched the video, the first one you think, get up, and then you watch it in slow motion, and you think, oh, okay, fair enough.
Mm.
He definitely gets it. For me, dangerous play, both red cards.
Fair enough. I still think that for me, they actually got it right. There's one, especially the Gilmore one, that is way worse.
Yeah.
They're saying
absolutely.
I don't disagree with that statement. Gilmore was worse, but for me, they're both red.
No,
I don't
Gilmore's
100% his was worse. That is borderline arrestable. His was.
So we're going to skip one result because obviously we're going to go into the prediction game because I'm bitter about it. Wolves beat Sheffield United. I mean, everybody literally just seems to be winning. Sheffield United are just horrendous, aren't they?
Sheffield United are not a Premier League side.
And also, didn't 2 of their players start fighting at the end of the game?
I don't know.
Yeah, apparently I didn't see it myself, but apparently a couple of the players started
It'd be interesting to try and
Wolves weren't good though.
No, I don't know.
They said Wolves weren't good, but they did enough to get the win. So
Wolves have not been good for a good few weeks, though, have they?
No.
And today, Liverpool lifted what they called a Tin Pot Cup last year when Man United won it.
Yes.
But obviously, because they won it today, they were all celebrating like it.
The noise was horrendous.
Yeah.
For me, the Carabao Cup's a major cup competition, and it should be celebrated as far as I'm concerned. We haven't won it since '93. But I'd love to win that cup. I'd love Arsenal to lift the Carabao Cup, albeit Middlesbrough smashed us this year.
I suppose it's one more trophy for Klopp's
teeth to get into.
career.
Dreadful.
Unfortunately, it's 1 of 4.
Yeah, well, he's not going to win all 4, is he? Because they're just not good enough. But
Well, no, because we've already clarified that
Southampton are going to smash them next week. I'm going to be a massive Saints fan next week.
Yeah.
I'm not going to,
well, Wednesday.
when they play them.
I think it's on ITV as well. I think Yo was saying. Don't know if it is.
I'll be
what
watching it
is
regardless.
Yeah.
So what else do you want to talk about, Mr. Tin Ribs?
That's me for this.
That was a lot, right? I think what we'll do then is
time
we're gonna go to break, and we shall be back with you, lovely people, shortly. Hello and welcome back from the break. We haven't had a majorly long break that time.
We were a bit delayed.
Bit delayed tonight, yeah, so it is actually a lot later than it normally is. Thanks Liverpool for not doing it in 90 minutes. Right, so we're going to go on to the predictions game. Short and sweet this week because nobody scored highly this week. It was a very, very low scoring week. So we had Leeds versus Leicester, which actually finished 3-1 to Leeds.
I was close.
I thought it would be 2-0. Tin thought it would be 2-0. You thought it would be 4-1, so you're only one out.
Yeah.
Jay said 1-1. And Max said 3-2 to Leicester. So the three on the show got a point, and the 3 armchair pundits failed to score. Saints versus Millwall. This was very interesting. Now, I said Saints would win 2-1. Tin said 4-0. Jim said 3-0. Darryl said 2-0. Jay said 2-1. Max said 4-1. All for the Saints. You lost to Millwall.
We've talked about it. Move on. No points.
Move on.
Nobody got any points in that game. Thank you, Saints. You scumbags. Right, Arsenal versus Newcastle. I was hugely disappointed with Newcastle's goal because I said we'd win 4-0. You said 3-1, although last week you did say, I want to say 4-1, but I'm not sure. I'm going to stick with 3-1. And had you said 4-1, you would have got all 3 points because it was 4-1. You said 3-1. Darryl said 2-0. Jay said 3-1. Max said 3-1. 3-1 was a very popular score that week.
Yeah.
And you're all wrong. So that's a 1 point for everybody. So at the end of that week,
nothing's changed.
We've ended up with the 3 on the show have got 2 points each.
Yeah.
And the 3 armchair pundits got 1 point each, which means, if you'd like, the running total.
Have I just overtook Max?
We have in last place Jay with 18 points. Next, we have Max with 21 points. Next, we have Tin Ribs with 22 points.
Should have been bloody 24.
Third, we have Jim with 28 points. Second, and I'm sorry to do this, Darryl, is Darryl with 31 points. And first is currently me with 31 points, but I've got more correct direct hits. So apologies, Darryl, but blame Jim because he's the one that said you can't be equal with somebody in a league table. There has to be something that separates them.
But it's FA Cup, so we're going to have an FA Cup special this week.
We're going to have an FA Cup special in which we
pick our teams, don't we? So obviously we picked Southampton's game, we picked Leeds' game, we picked Ars. Oh no. No.
You've been looking forward to that all day, haven't you?
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll pick Darryl's game. So we'll have the Blackburn FA Cup game in there as well.
Max is not missing out because his beloved Liverpool are playing your Saints.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to get something ridiculous off Max. Like he's going to mess me going 8-0.
Yeah.
9-0.
Like I say, they saved all their big hitters.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
They have.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Have they signed Mason Greenwood? No, wait. So Chelsea versus Leeds is the first one. So what do we think Chelsea versus Leeds is going to be? And I'm going to put him on the spot to answer first. Tin Ribs.
I really don't want to go against Leeds.
I know you don't. That's why I want you to do it first.
So obviously before the Villa game, Chelsea looked pretty poor. Thought, yeah, I wouldn't mind Chelsea. Then they looked amazing. They pretty much went on a winning streak since then until today, where they looked rather poor again. So, screw it, why not? 1-0 Leeds.
1-0 Leeds. I'm actually going to go 2-1 Leeds because I think Chelsea are shocking. I think Leeds are on a right roll. So 2-1 Leeds for me.
Here
I'm
comes
afraid I was going 1-0 Leeds.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. See, I was waiting for the
1-0 Leeds.
2-0 Chelsea.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is actually quite
Yeah.
interesting.
There's
all
just
gone for
something
Leeds.
about it, I think, that they will.
And I'd like to just inform the 3 armchair pundits that we all 3 of us got more points than the 3 of you. So maybe you should listen to us and go for Leeds. Although I will get their predictions before this is actually released. But there you go. Right, so we have Liverpool, Max's beloved Liverpool against your beloved Southampton. This time you're going to go first, Jim John. So what do you think the score is going to be for Liverpool versus Saints at Anfield?
I really want to win the FA Cup, but I'm going 5-1 Liverpool.
Do you know what? I'm not going to lie.
think
You
we'll
could
get
have given me
battered.
1,000 guesses on what Jim would say the score is going to be, and that would not have come out of my mouth. I seriously going 5-1
Yeah.
Liverpool. Holy shit. Right, okay. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all. Tim, you're going to go like 8-0, aren't you? You're going to say something ridiculous.
I'm only going 4-0. I did have 6-0 in my head, and I thought, I can't be that brutal.
4-0. I know that they want to win everything, but you know how much it hurts me to put Liverpool winning. And to be fair, last time I did that, Arsenal actually beat them.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to beat them, though. I really don't think you're going to beat them. I want to put like 1-1 so badly. But I just think Liverpool are just going to walk it. I don't mean any offence by that. But
And
I
it's
honestly-
a 5-1.
I honestly think
Anfield
they'll
as well.
walk it.
But yeah, I'm going to go 6-0.
like I say, for me, it was like I wanted the FA Cup, the League Cup final to go 120 minutes.
I do think you're better than that.
I wanted it to go 120 minutes, tire them out. But whereas Chelsea played probably their strongest side,
I'm going to go with you. 4-0. I'm going to go with you.
Liverpool didn't. They still had a lot of their best players sitting on the bench. Salah was on the bench. Actually, they weren't even on the bench, were they? They were in the stands.
No,
So you had Salah
and
Darwin
were doing each other's hair, I think.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So they've literally left all the heavy hitters on the bench, and that just out the pitch, and it's just like they're not going to be tired.
No, they're not. They're not. Blackburn at home to Newcastle. I'm going to go first this time because you 2 have already gone first. Right, I'm actually going to go for a Blackburn win because I think Newcastle were absolutely abysmal against Arsenal.
You have paid attention to Blackburn, haven't you?
Have you seen Newcastle?
Have you
They were shocking. They were shocking. I haven't seen Blackburn. I don't even know where they are in the league, actually.
They're horrendous.
Where are they?
14,
Something
15?
like that.
Are they really that low?
So
Sorry, Darryl,
they've got a good manager.
They've just swapped, haven't they?
Yeah. So they've got, they've come in. They've got a good manager now, but their playing squad is. So they currently sit. Oh dear.
At least give you some context
16th.
before I embarrass myself. 16th. How many have they won, drawn, and lost?
11 wins, 6 draws, 17 losses.
Jesus, that's not a good
And
record, is it?
one of the games I'm really looking forward to in our running to the end of the season is Blackburn at Allen Road. Because when we went to Blackburn, a good over a third, nearly half the stand was Leeds fans.
Darryl's going to hate
The one thing I will say that I have a lot of respect for Blackburn fans with is
backtracking.
No, hear me out. Unlike a lot of fans like Manchester United fans, we want the Glazers out, but we're still going to turn up to every game. Blackburn, no, they don't turn up. They're literally voting with their feet. They are saying, we don't want you here. Piss off, Venkies. Go away. We don't want you. I think they're average like a 10, like 6,000 home fans. It's horrendously low. They're not doing well. They're not getting the.
So they're not supporting their team.
And we back one day late birthday present last year. We beat them up 2-0 in a game where we should have won about 7-0. So
Right.
A lot of missed
I may have
chances.
just changed my mind on.
Unfortunately,
Blackburn.
they are doing absolutely red. They're on a slightly unbeaten run at the moment. They haven't won,
2 games.
but the last 3 games have drawn.
Drawn the last 3. I think we're going to have to go for a Newcastle win, aren't we? Then, as much as I don't really want to, so we're going to go 2-0 then Newcastle. 10.
Sorry, Darryl. 3-0.
3-0 Castle. Jam.
2-0.
2-0. Right, that's us done with this tin pot league, tin pot cup competition that Arteta doesn't seem to care about anymore. Not that I'm salty about it. It doesn't affect me at all. A massive bell end. And we'll go on to league action, which is going to be next Saturday. And we will start with you again. Huddersfield versus Leeds at Huddersfield. How many are you going to lose? What's the score going to be?
3-0.
3-0 Huddersfield. 3-0 Huddersfield. Right, so you think Leeds are going to win 3-0. What do you think?
3-0.
Did I knew
it was coming.
Do you know what? Just because it's got to happen at some point, I'm going to join you both and I'm going to say 3-0 Leeds. So that could be a really interesting one.
That's boring now.
Honestly, I hope...
Everyone, it's an L at the end. Bollocks.
I hope Huddersfield win that 3-0 now, just to piss on all of us. Right, we've got Birmingham and Southampton. Jim Jam.
2-1 Birmingham.
2-1 Birmingham. You've got so much faith in your boys at the minute, haven't you? I hope somebody from Southampton is listening to this and you realise what you're doing to your fans. But he's almost in tears here. He's almost in tears. He's absolutely good.
Even the camera lost faith in him.
Do you see what you're doing to your supporters?
I hope it's the other way round, but I might as well get some points if we're going to lose.
I'm not joking. My answer's the flip. 2-1.
2-1 Saints. I actually was thinking the same as you, so just to not put the same score, I'm going to put 2-0 Saints, just so we're not on the same this time. So yeah, you're yet again the only one that's got no faith in Southampton, and the last 3 times that's happened, Southampton have won. So at least you'll be happy about losing.
Yeah.
So that'll be good for you.
Absolutely.
So now we've got one of the greatest teams to ever grace the Premier League, Sheffield United, at home to Arsenal. What are you laughing at, Tim? It's a bit harsh, isn't it? I was making a lovely introduction to a newly formed member of the Premier League.
My score in my head, but I'll go last.
Okay.
You're first.
I think we're absolutely stonk them. And honestly, I mean, it could be close to my golf score. And let me just point out right now that I'm horrendous at golf, so it's pretty high. I mean, it could look like rugby numbers, couldn't it?
So who's going first with this?
I'm going to go 6-0.
Bollocks! I was going 6-0. I was going 7 then. Fuck it.
I was actually going 7-0. So I'm sticking with 7-0. That's why I was going to go last.
Fuck it. I'll go 5 then.
So you can stick with 6 if you want. If you think it's going to be 6.
I think it's 6.
6-0. I hope it's 5
and I think
now, just to piss off.
And I think they're going to continue on with that, like scoring 2 in each half.
Yeah.
That'll make an interesting bet at the bookies, actually. Arsenal yet again to get 2 in each half.
A minimum of 2 in each half.
Or
they
completely ruin it. 1-0.
Scored by Raya from a free kick.
Just completely fuck it all.
If I'd like to say now, if Arsenal win 1-0 and it's Raya that scores from a free kick, we're not having a podcast next week because I don't want any part of that.
I'm going to go last because I'm going 7-0 and I'm going to think I'm crazy, but obviously we're all on the same wavelength.
Yeah, we're all on the same wavelength because as much as you want the newly promoted sides to do well and like you want to see a regular Premier League side get battered and go down just for shits and giggles, Sheffield United have just not been there at all, have they? They've been shocking. Like there's no defence for how bad they've been. So you can't say anything. Like Southampton and Leeds, when they come up, they've both put up a great fight. You stayed in the Premier League. You didn't go down first season. You put up a good fight.
3 seasons.
You looked really good. Sheffield United have come up and just gone, beat me, please. And like you've handed the opposition the cricket bat to leather them with. Like
just go up and come back down. You know, Norwich.
Norwich is the first one you think of.
West Brom. They were always. Boom, boom,
To
boom,
be
boom,
fair,
boom.
when the owner of your club is stood on the pitch going, to the greatest football fans in the world, where are you? That's like the biggest contradiction I've ever heard in
Yeah,
life.
the
Isn't
thing
it?
is,
It's
I
a
kind
great-
of like
Norwich.
one of my outbursts.
it's a bit, yeah.
But it's like the thing with Norwich was there's never investment. Now you think about how much money they make yo-yoing in those few years where they were yo-yoing. Where's the money going?
Loads of moolah.
It's like 100 million for going up, and they.
She bakes a lot of cakes, though, in
Yeah.
defence.
But like everyone's on about Daniel Farke. Should we get rid of him for next? No, not at all. The first season Norwich went up, they won the league convincingly, and the only player they bought was Sam Byram at 240 grand.
Good player, though, to be fair.
No, don't dispute that.
Decent
But
player.
what I'm saying is, when you've just had 100 million put into your bank account, and you only spend $250,000, what have you done with the other 900? Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they've got massive
90
drug debts or
yeah.
something. Maybe they own loan
99.75
sharks.
million just sitting in your bank account. And then you get sent down, parachute payments. Parachutes for what? Because they're the same fucking
Well, they
team.
get parachute payments for 3 years, don't they?
Yeah, but what I mean is, they had the parachute payments, but all the players were championship players anyway. So it's not like they bought anyone in on extreme wages, and then they went back up again and invested fuck all. In fact, what they actually did was sell their best player on the way up to Aston Villa. So you got another 100 million.
Fair point.
Another 100 million, plus I think it was 30 million for it. So that's 130 going up, and they invested it in nobody.
Yeah, I can't understand why they didn't do
And
very
yet
well.
Norwich, what's going on? There's something dodgy there. When you think over like 3 seasons, they've had over 200 million invested into the club. Their stadium's still shit, and now they're languishing upper half of the championship. They've had all that money invested over the last 10 years, and for what? Man?
I can't answer that question because I'm not
No.
part of the board
No, but
or
it's-
the banking or whatever.
What I mean is that's why Norwich never succeeded. That's why they went up and went back down.
Yeah, it was a failure to invest for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, sorry.
But then, like everybody said, as soon as they went up and the transfer window shut, and everyone's like, "Well, what have they done? Where are the bodies to help them survive? Where's the backup? Or where's anything? Like, there's just nothing there." And everyone said the same thing. Sheffield United didn't buy too many, did they? When they come up this time, and it's
No.
showing because they are getting tucked in every single week at the minute. They are suffering. It's almost like they're playing Millwall every week. Sorry, mate. Yeah, the FA Cup. Guides in. So yeah, I don't think Sheffield United are going to do anything. Certainly against Arsenal, and not against pretty much any other Premier League team either.
Okay, quick bit of fun then. So they sit currently on 13 points, shared with Burnley.
You're going to ask us how many points they're going to finish on, aren't you?
12 games to go. How many points?
18. I'm going to write this down so we've got.
Yeah.
Right, I'm actually going to make a note.
How many
of this,
points
boys.
is Sheffield United going to end up with?
Yeah.
Shall we have a look at the fixtures as well? I'll have a look.
I don't
at
think
the
it really
fixtures.
I don't
matters.
think it matters, does it?
It probably doesn't, but you never know.
I think
I'm going to ask the others as well.
in all fairness, when it comes to teams they'll beat, it'll be some like random team that you just don't expect them to beat.
Newcastle.
Well, they beat
Be Newcastle or Brighton or one of them teams that you think are decent.
They
but they're
beat
not.
Brentford.
Hmm.
And I dare say it was Wolves they beat. So
How many points will Sheffield United end the season with? Currently
13,
on how many games?
26.
21.
After 26 games.
21 points I'm going for.
So me, 18. Jim, 21. Tim,
19.
19. I'll ask the question to Darryl and Max and Jay and see whether they want to get involved or they might not.
A win and 3 draws.
So A win and 3 draws in 12 games. You've got faith, man. Jesus. Shite record.
I'm
That
going
could
2
be
wins
interesting.
and 2 draws.
I just think that they'll just get a few draws. I can't.
They're playing Burnley.
Are they going to
Burnley
beat them?
laced them last time, didn't they?
Yeah, they beat them, didn't they?
I think it's like the only game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only
Yeah,
one.
but who's worse?
That's the only game Burnley are looking at going.
Yeah,
"Watch,
but
aren't
the only
they?"
game
Who's
they've won-
worse, Burnley or Sheffield United?
They're both the same at the moment.
That's like asking who's the best actor in Towie. They're all shit. It doesn't really make much difference, does
What
it?
made me laugh was the fact that the only convincing win that Sheffield United have had is against Luton.
Look at them now.
And Luton.
They're beating some good teams. They are at the minute. They've put 2 bloody good performances up against
Back down in that
Liverpool.
relegation, though.
Yeah, but that was after, because that was only recent as well, wasn't it?
Admittedly, Luton still have a game in hand, but again, points on board, isn't it?
Yeah.
Points on the board. Something you've mentioned
Yeah.
before you got slapped up.
Well,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. It was fun listening to week in, week out all the Southampton fans and literally game in hand, game in hand. Oh yeah.
Just to be fair, you're the only one that was like, no, don't want it. Want the points. Don't want the game in hand. Don't give me games in hand. Give me points.
Yeah.
And he said it from the start, to be fair to him. So
No, I don't dispute that. I mean, but it was quite fun.
There's been a lot of noise.
A lot of that.
The
game in hand, game in hand, game in hand.
Unfortunately, one fan can taint stuff for the whole club and that's a problem with social media, because they'll take an image and they'll use it, because there was one Southampton fan that posted, now that Leeds are out the picture. Because we got fucking roasted for that one fan saying that.
That's the thing, though, isn't it?
We get the whole fan base gets roasted.
You
And
normally
there's going to
find,
be
though,
Leeds
don't
fans
you?
out there now going, this is how it is now. Because basically now they're saying we are out the picture now, so to speak.
Basically.
So it's like, okay.
You usually find, though, that it's that one moron that goes viral, and then your entire fan. I mean, look at Arsenal. We didn't have one moron. We had about 20 of them on that AFTV, and our entire fan base now is judged off of AFTV.
Yeah,
and they're morons, absolute morons. There's nobody subscribed to that channel that supports Arsenal. Let me fucking tell you that for nothing. Nobody. But that is what you base, not you, but that's what people base their opinions of Arsenal fans is on that, because they've got I don't know how many million subscribers they've got, or they did have when they were, at the height of their fame, or whatever it is you want to call them, bell ends. Just, oh my God, it's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. And I feel sorry for the guy that runs it, because he was the only one that wasn't screaming and shouting for Wenger to come out, and he looks as though he'd set it up genuinely to give fans a voice and to be like, oh, go and I'll interview some fans and we'll have a bit of a laugh, and he interviewed the wrong people.
So how would you feel about Havertz at the moment?
I feel like we should stop fucking trying to play him as a striker, because he's not a striker.
Are you happy with the performances he's putting in at the moment?
He is. I would give him a 6.5 out of 10 for this season so far. I think he's been okay, better than I expected. I was expecting a 4 out of 10, so he's definitely been better than I thought he was going to be.
Squad player status?
Squad player, not a first teamer.
Not a first teamer. Yeah.
I still would put Smith Rowe ahead of Havertz, but me personally, I would have Trossard as my now striker.
You know what's great though? I've noticed that now that you're absolutely dicking teams, El Nenny's getting games.
Do you know, I've always looked at El Neni in the past and gone, I just don't understand why he's at Arsenal, because I don't think he's good enough. And don't get me wrong, I still don't think he's good enough, but he seems to have a lot of love for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And he's made it pretty clear that he wants to end his career at Arsenal, and he doesn't mind how that is, whether it's 2 minutes a game or whether it's 2 minutes a month. He's not bothered. He wants to end his career at Arsenal because he loves the club. And I'm like, okay, if somebody loves the club that much, then that's fine. But I definitely don't think he's ever going to get a game unless, we face, I don't know, without any disrespect, but like a non-league club in the FA Cup next year. I think he might get 90 minutes or whatever. But Other than that, I can't see him playing
like
much. But
Cedric as well.
I like Cedric. I like the fact that he's happy just sitting there and he'll come on for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Because he doesn't do a lot wrong, Cedric, for me. He doesn't excel, but he doesn't do much wrong.
He was okay for us.
I don't think he's a bad
He wasn't
player.
even first choice for us, so why go to Arsenal?
Well, why Arsenal would want him, I don't know. But like I say, he doesn't make many mistakes. He just doesn't shine. He doesn't do anything amazing. But you know, it is what it is. And I'd still play Smith Rowe ahead of Havertz, but he's been better than I expected. I just hope he gets better than he is now. He looks timid. Is it just me that thinks he looks terrified when he's on the pitch? Because like there's times when he should shoot and he's pissing about trying to control it and knocking it back or knocking it out to Martinelli or But if you're playing as a striker, put your foot through it.
I will say this: I think a couple of injuries to key players derails your momentum and season, because that's what happened
100%.
to us. I don't know what would happen. I don't know what player Leeds could lose, whether or not it'd be Rutter or something like that. That losing him would derail.
You're saying a couple of players would derail us. We lost Saliba last year and lost the league. One player gone and we lost the league. And I wholeheartedly believe had Saliba not been injured, we'd have won the league. And I believe that with everything I've got.
Rutter is definitely a player we would miss massively.
Great.
Because obviously we're missing Downs in that midfield because he's controlling it, and everything's gone downhill since he's gone down.
Just play on words.
Yeah, a little bit.
You look so disappointed to me. It's brilliant.
Painful.
Had to. But a lot of the times that is what it takes.
Yeah,
you know,
one important
Man City
player to go.
can.
De Bruyne, they did not look the same without him.
Rodri,
and they're a fantastic team.
They lost Rodri and De Bruyne at the same time.
How many games did they lose when Rodri was
out?
And Haaland. At one point, they didn't have Rodri.
But they were still winning when Haaland wasn't there.
No.
And that's the thing, they can keep winning, but they're not winning convincingly at the moment.
They're not. They're struggling. They look like they're struggling at the minute as well.
Is Haaland 100% yet? De Bruyne's not 100% yet. So
he's still world class, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that guy's
incredible. So, like we say, few teams, injuries, it could change a season.
Yeah, I'd agree.
It's just
there's
what players
a lot of football
are
to go, both in the Premier League and in the Championship. And as much as you look like, for me, you look like you're going to win the league right now.
Yeah, they are saying it now. It's the greatest league at the moment, the Championship.
Oh, it's been brilliant
because it's amazing.
I don't think I've ever seen the Championship has always been
tough,
pretty competitive. But every so often you've had Reading, Norwich, Burnley. You know, just run away with it. Just take it away, and they've run away. And at the start of the season, we were struggling because you look at the team that we put out first 5 or 6 games, nothing like the team we put out now. We were a completely different team. We were struggling. Just we found momentum. We were doing all right, and then fucking Southampton derailed us for a little bit.
It makes you think though. Somebody this year is probably going to get the record number of points to not get promoted.
No guarantee. I guarantee that is a guarantee. Because this year is mental because the team. It's like the year we won it, we have more points now than we did in the same. So if you take a look at Bielsa's Leeds versus Farke's Leeds, Farke's got more points on the board, more wins, better win percentage, and everything, and yet we're not winning the league at the moment. And it's mad when you look at it because you've got 4 teams that any other year would have won the league with the points that they've got. It's the most competitive runaway league I've ever seen.
You'll probably find that 3rd and 4th is probably going to be Ipswich, Southampton in that order, and it'll be interesting to see if them points that Ipswich and Southampton have, if both teams would have got promoted on previous seasons, and I bet you they probably would.
They probably won the bloody league in those seasons.
And that's
mad, isn't it, when you think about it.
I mean, the one that's interesting for me is the only out of the top 4 now, Leeds only have to play Southampton. We've done the double on Leicester. We've done the double on Ipswich. Southampton beat us in a very one-sided first half. Second half, Leeds pulled their thumb out their arse and we got a 1-0. But when you're 3-0 down going in at half time, you're fucked.
Doesn't help, does it?
So that'll be a good game. And I'm loving the fact that it's the last game of the season. This could be the...
That could be everything.
Could be.
It could be everything.
Could be everything.
It could be with still fighting for automatic. It could be
Southampton
Leeds
make it into the playoffs, or are they guaranteed championship next year?
So
Could be.
But what I'm loving is Leicester and Ipswich both have played each other twice and both draws. Because, Leicester are the best team that Ipswich have ever played.
We've got to play both Ipswich and
Southampton
Leicester.
are playing all three. So
You've got a
effectively,
lovely run in them, haven't you?
what we are saying is Southampton could win the league for Leeds.
Technically, that's true.
Potentially, we could be going into the last game of the season where, if we go on a run, it could be that Leeds are top of the league, Leicester could be second, Southampton could be third, and we might need to beat Leeds to take Leicester's place, but Leicester need to win to take.
We are talking.
That,
At the end of the season, this last 12 games could be
Yeah,
insane.
it's going to be mad, isn't it?
Now, don't get me wrong, I don't expect us to be up there. I think that we've lost and drawn too many games that we should have got points.
It's going to be great for me because I'm a neutral. So it's going to be superb watching for me. Because I can just sit from a distance and watch it all unfold and watch you two lose your minds.
But we could be in fourth place, guaranteed fourth place, and you know what? We could play Leeds and go, you know what? Let's play a fucking second string and let's rest all the players for the playoffs.
They could hand you the league.
And we could just hand
but that's what I'm saying.
the league.
Imagine if they beat Leicester, beat Ipswich, so we haven't got to worry about Ipswich behind us
And
anymore.
then they know they're going into the playoffs and they're like, fuck it, we'll just put our under-18s out against Leeds and then let them have the game and we'll just
That'd be
concentrate
insane,
on the playoffs.
wouldn't it?
That'd be great for you guys, wouldn't it?
As stupid as this sounds, I would rather win the league by actually winning it than being given it.
Yeah, but you'll have already won it by that point anyway, so you'll have won it.
No, if it come down to the last game, if we had to beat Southampton to win the league,
Yeah,
I'd feel a little bit robbed.
You could
Leeds
rob
winning the
honest
league
joy.
is going to be in the last couple games of the season.
Yeah. This is
Without a
going
shadow
to
of
the
a doubt.
wire. This is, like I say,
Leicester could potentially win the league a few games before the end of the season.
It's going to be great watching for the
If
neutral. And
you
honestly,
get a couple bad results,
I'm not going to
we'll
lie.
definitely go on it,
Like,
Ron.
I'm not going to lie. Had we not started this podcast, I would not be watching the championship at all.
Yeah.
And now I'm actually really excited about it because it's so close. There's so many fucking points at the top of that league. I'm like, this is actually really good. Like, because it doesn't mean anything. Because I'm like, if I was you, I'd be chomping on my fingernails and like you now, I'd be throwing my phone around the room, fucking Millwall, and but because, as an outsider looking at it, I'm just like, this is just great football for me.
Yeah.
It's just great football. I watched the Leeds Ipswich game, and for me, I looked at that and I could not understand why Ipswich were where they were. I'm like, where the results come from? Because I haven't seen them before.
Yeah.
I just saw them against you, and I'm like, these are shit. But Leeds have battered them from start to finish. I don't understand how they were bought. I didn't get it. Could not understand it. And then I watched them on another game, and I'm like, they've just ripped somebody apart.
Oh, they played. They really play nice football
against Leeds? So
Ipswich
it's really good viewing for an outsider.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to the next 12 games for you guys, not so much for us. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this week up and we shall reconvene next Saturday in Macclesfield. We'll probably do another vlog on the way up or whatever and sort something out. And we're actually going for a game of golf this time. Hopefully it's not going to snow on us. Bloody cancelled last time.
At least I won't be injured this time.
If anyone wants to know why the golf was cancelled last time because of the snow, we have actually got a video of the football we played in Mac that night, and that will explain all you need to know about how bad the snow was. Because the second half of that football game, you couldn't see the lines, you could barely see the ball, and the ref basically went, "Do you want to call it off?" And we're like, "Nah, sod it." And he went, "Well, okay, fair enough, but I can't call you. We can't do your throw-ins because we don't know where the ball's gone out." And we're all like, "Ah, sod it, it'll be all right." But I tell you what, it's one of the best experiences I've had. Absolutely,
I'm glad it was cold though,
great.
because if it weren't cold, if it wasn't absolute Baltic, I'd have been off within 20 minutes.
Yeah, it probably helped your swelling not go up, didn't it, being that cold? Because you came out and injured yourself because he's an absolute blom. Twice. He flew into me twice.
I think
injured
the worst
himself both
part of
times.
that was going in at half time into that warm dressing room.
Warm? Is that how you describe it? Warm? Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Honestly.
You guys had the nice dressing room. We had this little like side shed.
Oh, yeah, we played as a home team. Like, they let me have the home team with me being a Mac fan, so...
I think it was the thing that was one of the things that killed us because it was really cold going out.
Roasting in that dressing room. It was boiling. We got in the dressing room and we were all like, oh, this is nice. This is nice. Oh, I like this. It was cold out there. Oh, this is lovely.
You go back
and then
out.
The second that door opens, you're like, oh, I can't even move, man. Oh God.
No, Rangers feel every week.
It took your breath away. It was that cold.
Whereas
you guys, I don't think you had the heating in your dressing room.
There was a little bit, but I wouldn't.
So you were still a bit cold anyway. So you went out and it was normal. We went out, honestly. I know how the lobsters feel now. Oh, just in reverse. You know, they just pick them out of the fridge and put them straight in their hot water. Mate, it was the reverse of that.
The thing is, if that was Friday, I'd have had my hat on, I'd have had my gloves on, I'd have been wearing trousers.
Yeah. No, shorts, t-shirt, no hat, no gloves, straight out into the snow, rolling around like, oh, this is great, man. it was cold. But yeah, we're gonna call it a day, and we'll inform you next week of what's happened and what's going on. And next Saturday we've got the golf, so we're going to record it next Saturday. Next Sunday, I'm taking my kids down to the Emirates towards the North London Derby. So there's going to be loads of little clips and videos going up of different things over our various social media channels.
I have to pick on Mac's shirt while we're over there.
Well, we're going to watch Mac in a couple of weeks at Stafford Rangers. So we are going to go and watch Macclesfield as well. So there's going to be loads of little vlogs that we're going to put
on Saturday as well. That Saturday we're going. They are playing at home. Got Marine, I think.
So
3 o'clock kickoff.
Yes. Yeah, we will be there for that. I'll have to see how it goes because obviously I've got the Sunday as well to take care of. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, thank you very much for listening and being here and joining us. We love you all, and we shall see you next time.